Hello everybody, this is Mrs. Denton, and in this video we're going to be building some notes. So you are going to need 2 sheets. They look like this. You're going to need 2 sheets. One has a whole bunch of parallel lines with different angles marked, and one has a bunch of our vocab. On the back of the vocab you'll see some example problems. So you will need 2 sheets. When you get your 2 sheets, grab the one that's got all the angles and read the directions on the top. I found this little note activity online and I think it's very helpful. So you want the sheet that says, cut out the squares. Fold along the dotted line in each square to create a flap. Glue the flap to the corresponding square on page 4. So this is the sheet we're cutting. And what you're going to do is cut out each of these squares separately. So you're going to cut out along all the solid lines. Okay, cut that one out, and then that one, and then that one. Pause the video while you go ahead and cut everything out. Okay, at this time, you should have a whole bunch of little squares. Okay, I think I have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, I've got 12. I'm going to slide those over a second, and I'm going to get out the second sheet. This sheet has the vocabulary all over it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at each square and match it up to its vocab word. So this is the first square I have. I'm just going to do one example with you. Not sure why the video is turning blue. I'll have to look into that. But this is my first example. I've got 2 angles that are in the same position. So think back to your last lesson. What is it called when 2 angles are in the same position? Well, this is a set of corresponding angles. So I'm going to lay that on the corresponding angles spot. I'm not going to glue it down yet. I'm going to see if I can get all my matches first. Okay, I'll do one more with you. I just randomly picked this picture up. Here's my transversal. I notice that the 2 angles marked are both on the left of the transversal and they're both outside the 2 parallel lines. These are called same side exteriors. So I could put it here or I could put it down here. Either one, doesn't matter. I'm going to put it here. Pause the video and create your matches. Okay, here are all of my matches. If you have something that doesn't match and you want to change it before you start gluing, either ask me or Coach Holter for help, or go ahead and change it to match what I have here. Once we have it all set, then all you have to do is take one of the tags, fold at the dotted line, and put a little glue, on the edge of that tab, and then it'll stick right in its spot. I'm going to pause the video here, and I'm going to fix all my pieces. Okay, so now you should have 12 little flashcards. I'm at home, and I don't have any glue here at the house. I don't know how. With 5 kids, we don't have a glue stick, but we don't. So I just grabbed some tape to make my little tabs. So that's what this shiny stuff is on my paper. So now we have done our vocab match. When I flip up this tab, I see that it's a set of corresponding angles. So this is going to be a great way to check my understanding for vocab while I study. Now we're going to add in one more piece to this puzzle. You guys, here we are studying angles created by parallel lines. Okay, that was not the case in the first unit. Before, the lines were going all different directions. And now we're talking about lines being parallel. So if you check out every single one of your little tabs, you have one set of parallel lines and one transversal. Well, when you cut parallel lines with a transversal, you wind up making all kinds of relationships. Let's look at the corresponding pair here. Notice that the size of angle created in each set is the same. The measure in each of these angles is equal to each other if the lines are perfectly parallel. So the note to make is corresponding angles, the angles are congruent. The angles are congruent in all corresponding angles. Check it out. They're equal, they're the same size. We could pop out a mini protractor and we would know that they are equal to each other. Corresponding angles are congruent. Okay, let's go to the next one on the right here. Take a look. We have one obtuse angle. I'm going to put an O for obtuse, and one acute angle. Those two could not be congruent to each other. They could not. Okay, so another relationship that could be formed with one obtuse and one acute is that they are supplementary. These are called same side exterior angles, and when lines are parallel, all same side exterior angles are supplementary. Same side exterior angles are supplementary. Let's move over to this vertical set. Now notice in vertical angles, we only need one intersection. I'm not even using this top intersection. We already know about the measure of vertical angles. This is a review. Vertical angles are congruent. Congruent. Vertical angles are congruent. In this picture, they're both obtuse angles. And those obtuse angles are going to be congruent to each other. Okay, what I want you to do next is go through your list here and try to decide, are the angles congruent to each other or are they supplementary? I've finished the second row here, and what I've done on the front side is I've gone through and listed whether the angles are obtuse or acute. And this is going to help me remember when angles are congruent versus supplementary. If I have one obtuse angle and one acute angle, that cannot be congruent. So this set of same side interior angles are supplementary. All same side interior angles are supplementary. Let's compare that to alternate interior angles in the middle here. Both of these alternate interior angles are acute. An acute angle is any angle smaller than 90 degrees, and both of these are the same size, so both of these angles are congruent to each other. And lastly in this row, I've got a third set of interior angles. These are called same side interior angles. They do look different than the set on the left, just because of the position of the picture, but they're on the left side of the transversal, on the inside of the parallel lines, and I've got one acute angle and one obtuse angle, and that means they are supplementary. Okay, I'm going to pause the video again to do the third row. Okay, on this third row, what I've noticed is I've got matching sets all the way across. On the left, I've got a set of alternate exterior angles that are both acute. In the middle, I've got a set of vertical angles that are both acute. And on the right, I've got a set of obtuse angles, alternate exterior, same as the left, that are both obtuse. But in all three pictures, all the angles are the same size as their partner, which means all three angles are congruent. Alternate exterior angles are congruent. Vertical angles are congruent. Alternate exterior angles are congruent. I'm going to pause to do the fourth and final row. Okay, in this last row, again, I went through each pair of angles and labeled whether they were both acute, both obtuse, or one of each. In the left, I have a set of alternate interior angles, and both angles are acute. Therefore, due to the parallel lines, these angles have the same measure and they are congruent. In comparison, in the middle picture, I've got a set of same side exterior angles where one is acute and the other is obtuse. So therefore, they cannot be congruent, but they could add up to 180 degrees and be supplementary. And then finally, on the far right, I've got a set of corresponding angles. Both angles are on the top left of their intersection. That's what makes them corresponding. And they're both acute. So due to the parallel lines, these angles are congruent. You guys, I hope you like this style of notes, and it'll be a great way to quiz yourself. Next, let's flip over and practice some problems together. Take a look. You can flip back and forth if it helps you. Here's what we're doing on this side. We're trying to solve for x. So what we're being asked to do is name the angle pair, write out the relationship, and then solve for x. All right, take a look at number 1. Sorry, that was my alarm saying the kids are almost off the bus. Okay, if I take a look at number 1, I've got two angles in the bottom right. Bottom right, bottom right. This is a set of corresponding angles. That's one of our vocab words. Corresponding angles. You can flip over and look at the relationship on the back, or you can think this one through with me. Both of these angles are acute, and two acute angles cannot add up to 180 degrees, so they must be congruent. And if angles are congruent, that means x is 68 degrees. Okay. Let's try number 5 together. First, we need to name the angle pair. Well, I've got x, which is obtuse. I've got 77, which is not obtuse. It is acute. So I know these two angles are not going to be congruent to each other. So right now, I know they're not congruent, so they have to be supplementary. And now I can think through what kind of angles are supplementary. Well, let's check out their position. They're both on the outside of the parallel line, so they're exterior, but they're both on the same side of the transversal. If this pen is the transversal, they're both on the bottom beneath the transversal. So these are same side exteriors. Kind of running out of space there. So these are same side exteriors, which are supplementary. So to figure out what x is, I need to do a little mental math here. 180 degrees, take away this 77 degree angle, is going to leave me with the obtuse angle here, which would be 103. So x is 103 degrees. I'm going to pause the video and finish out these notes, and then you can start playing it again and check your work. Okay, I've finished up all my work, and hopefully you have also finished yours. So feel free to check your answers here. All of the angle pairs, let me slide this up a little. There we go, excuse me. All of the angle pairs that are supplementary, I've done in orange. Okay, so supplementary is in orange. We've got same side interior angles that are supplementary. All the angle pairs that are congruent, I've done in green. Alternate interior, vertical, and alternate exterior. So hopefully that will help you organize your thoughts here. Thank you for watching. You guys, you know what's coming next. These simple numbers and x's are going to be filled with algebra. So make sure that you feel confident about your vocab and about the relationships formed by these angle pairs. Thank you.